my, what an Indian summer Sunday afternoon. Temperature is now at 65 degrees. Ideal conditions as John Harbaugh's Ravens looking for their 5th win of the season. Marvin Lewis, he was the defensive coordinator with the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl, and a rookie, Ray Lewis, was one of his pupils. Steve Hauschka has it teed up. Andre Caldwell, who caught the winning touchdown in the first game, is back to return. Caldwell from Florida at the 10. Slips across the 25 and then meets a wave of white led by Tom Zibikowski. Huge offensive line for both teams, averaging around 320 pounds a man. Cedric Benson, the lone running back. Lavernius Coles in motion. Benson hit in the backfield and dropped before he can get to the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 as Terrell Suggs and Justin Bannon make the play. 2nd down 11 to open the game. Palmer's first throw is complete to Coles, and Coles ducks out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, 3 yards shy of a first down. Fabian Washington on the coverage. Throw underneath, good enough for the first down as Brian Leonard. They put him into the game in 3rd down situations. A good receiver. That's his 15th catch of the season.
Yeah, with both these teams being very good stopping the run. Baltimore's 4th in the NFL stopping the run. The Bengals 5th. And with these weather conditions today, Dick, I really expect both these quarterbacks to have big days throwing, because both these teams on defense have struggled this year stopping the pass.
Palmer completes his first 2 throws. He was 20 for 24 against the Bears. Back to Benson. Off that left side. Breaks out of a pile and keeps on motoring all the way to the 48-yard line of Baltimore. Landry and Foxworth in the secondary make the tackle.
Yeah, a big part of the success that Benson has running the ball is his pad level. Watch as he comes to the line of scrimmage. He's low, keeps his feet behind him, leaning forward. He bounces out very easily and has the quickness to get to the sideline and pick up a big first down for the Bengals on the ground.
4th in the league with 720 yards coming in. He picked up 12 on that carry. And a first down at the 49 of the Ravens. Benson the other way. Notice how Palmer handed off to Benson. A very awkward handoff. No gain on first down. 2nd and 10. Play action for Palmer on the roll. Looking downfield. Throws to the sidelines. Is it a catch to Coles? No. A late call out of bounds. Terrell Suggs was chasing Palmer. Forced the throw.
That's a good call. Excellent call by the official. Says the left foot is out of bounds. A little late on the delivery from Carson Palmer.
3rd down and 10, and this is where the Ravens like to dial up the blitz. Here you see the left hand, so Palmer on all of his handoffs will be handing off with just the right hand. First time in the shotgun for Cincinnati.
Delay a game. Amazing.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Alberto Riveron, our referee today. Marvin Lewis.
Correction. Cincinnati called timeout prior to delay a game. So timeout Cincinnati.
Here in early November, a shirt sleeve day in Cincinnati. Beautiful weather. 3rd down and 10. The call for Carson Palmer and the Cincinnati Bengals after the timeout. Ball at the 49 of the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens bring on a couple of extra defensive backs. He didn't get the play off in time, did he? There's the throw by Palmer. Hit as he throws, complete to Ocho Cinco, and he spins for a first down. Boy, we looked at that play clock. It was on 0 a full second before the ball was snapped. But no penalty.
Yeah, it's a home field advantage maybe, but what an advantage to have a relationship between the two, quarterback and receiver. The timing on this throw is perfect. as Washington falls down. Ochocinco had to pick up the first down after the catch. He's about 2 yards shy after he receives this ball. Does a nice job with his quickness to pick it up.
Trading hand checks, and Ochocinco winning the battle. First down inside the 39. Palmer, far sideline, wide open. Ochocinco again, pushed out of bounds by Dominique Foxworth. Another good gain right at the sticks.
Yeah, against Foxworth, who's playing off. Good sharp route. Great feet by Ochocinco. But how about this job by Washington? That shove there kept Ochocinco from picking up the first down.
But here's a free down with which to work for Carson Palmer, second and less than a yard. And it's Benson, big hole! Inside the 10-yard line, first and goal.
Great job of seeing it backside by Benson as he comes here and then cuts it back all the way. The pursuit of the Baltimore defense totally out of the play. In fact, the young linebacker Tavares Gooden, in his second year out of Miami, overran the play, and Benson takes it inside the 10.
Cedric Benson, with that carry, is already at midseason surpassed his total of 747 yards a season ago rushing. First and goal. Benson again, and he plows to the 6-yard line. Second and goal.
Talking to Ray Lewis last night about the success that Benson had when he went for 120 in the first game with these two teams. He said we just didn't stay in our gaps. We were undisciplined defensively, something they corrected last week against Denver. But you could see on that long run 2 plays ago by Benson, out of their gaps, overrunning the play, and a good job by Benson seeing it backside.
This is an interesting test. The Bengals have one of the best red zone offenses going this year, and the Ravens are one of the best defenses in the red zone. Palmer, plenty of time, man open, incomplete. Intended for Jeremy Johnson, the fullback, who has only 3 catches all year. He was left alone, but the pass handcuffed him. Tavares Gooden on the coverage.
Pretty good reason why he's only got 3 catches. Ball hits him in both hands. The hit comes after the drop. That's just a drop by Jeremy Johnson, and a wasted 6 points.
Brings up the 12th play of this opening drive of the game. Third and goal from the 6. Chris Henry to the left, Ochocinco to the right. Andre Caldwell in the slot. Palmer. Touchdown, Caldwell. Well, how about that? That's how the last game ended in Baltimore. Caldwell with a winning score. And he opens today with another touchdown.
Great to have pass protection and a veteran quarterback reading the entire field. No Raven got anywhere near Carson Palmer, and he found Caldwell finally in the end zone. Watch Palmer look to the right side of the screen here. Nothing there. Still time to throw against a 3-man rush, and Caldwell works his magic over the middle.
Quite a 73-yard opening drive for the Bengals, and it's Graham with the extra point. Welcome back to Southern Ohio, along the Ohio River, flowing its way down 100 miles toward Louisville. And that opening drive had a nice flow, didn't it? 73 yards in 12 plays for the Bengals. 6-yard touchdown throw from Palmer to Caldwell. Lardarius Webb, the rookie from Nicholls State, is back for the kickoff. Returned one last week, 95 yards against Denver. Here he comes. Skids through one tackle, still on his feet out to the 35-36-yard line before Leon Hall, a starting cornerback, can make the tackle. They're averaging on the road 29.5 points a game, and he's on a streak of 14 straight completed passes at the end of that Denver win. That's a Baltimore record, this franchise record. Rice caught in the backfield and dropped for a loss by Terry Tank Johnson. Derek Mason, the all-purpose receiver, the skill positions. Second and long. Flacco's first throw, plenty of time, deep he goes. Is it a catch? No, out of bounds was Clayton, but a flag thrown in the secondary.
This appears to be pass interference or illegal contact against the Bengal defense.
Illegal contact, number 55, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Linebacker Keith Rivers, second season out of Southern California, checking somebody illegally past that 5-yard zone.
Not only did Flacco complete 14 consecutive passes last week, completed 80% of his throws against a very, very good Denver defense when you think about guys like Champ Bailey and Dawkins in that Denver secondary.
Well, first down after the 5-yard call at the 39. Ray Rice in the backfield. And Flacco to throw again. Deep down the middle. And not close. Intended for Derek Mason. So there's the 14 completion streak ends on that throw.
We go back to the previous play when Keith Rivers got illegal contact called on him. Here he is working against the tight end. That's Todd Heap. Heap with 27 catches on the year. That's well beyond the 5-yard mark. And a good call.
Quick huddle, and Ray Rice gets the call, and breaking tackles as he has done all season long, crosses the 45-yard line before safety Chris Crocker can bring him down.
I like the comment that Keith Rivers made to us a couple of days ago when talking about the 5'6", 210-pound Ray Rice. He called him a short ball of muscle. He rolled that time.
3rd and 3. Flacco, quick throw, almost intercepted, in great position. Leon Hall, starting corner from Michigan, in front of Derek Mason, jumped the route, and had he caught on to that one, would have had a long gone run.
Yeah, who was the receiver on this play? Hall ran a better route than Mason. Michigan against Michigan State there, and Hall can't believe he didn't pull that one in.
3 interceptions this year for Hall to match the other corner, Jonathan Joseph's 3. Sam Cook to kick it. Quan Cosby deep. Cosby with a good average this year, over 13 a punt return. 4th best in the league. This one bounces into the end zone for the touchback. And welcome back to a perfect football day in Cincinnati, Ohio. Bengals with an opening drive touchdown have their second possession, opening at the 20. Cedric Benson, 34 yards rushing in that first drive. Palmer fakes to him, throws over the middle, complete to Ocho Cinco. And he spins his way across the 40. 42, fumbled the ball. A flag is down as well. The Ravens feel they have the fumble. Ocho Cinco fumbled in the first game when hit from behind by Ed Reed. And they do have the ball. Now the penalty flag. Trying to get that extra yard, sometimes so costly.
But is this a costly penalty against Baltimore?
Ravens 510 penalty yards this year, most in the NFL.
Now this is a break for Cincinnati, as it appears against Baltimore.
Pass interference, number 26, defense. The ball will replace the spotted foul. Automatic first down.
Boy, that's a huge turnabout. The Ravens had the ball, but have to give it back as DeJuan Landry guilty of the foul.
Well, the flag was thrown simultaneous with a catch by Ocho Cinco, so everything after the catch was nullified.
That's the 6th pass interference call against the Ravens this year. That leads the league. Deep drop by Palmer, and he's throwing long. Almost intercepted. Ocho Cinco the target. Deep was Fabian Washington and Dominique Foxworth, both corners.
Yeah, kind of unusual that both corners would be back on this play. Play action pass and then a long throw. Not long enough, as you can see. Ocho Cinco is behind the defensive backs. Let's go back to the pass interference call here. as Landry pushes Ochocinco right there. That drew the flag, but he's got to be worried about Ochocinco. This ball's out away from his body and gets knocked out by Landry.
2nd and 10 at the 32. Benson at head down low, drives across the 35-yard line at 7-0 here in Cincinnati. We'll check on the injured player. It's Evan Mathis, the guard. Evan Mathis back to the locker room from Alabama following his uncle. Remember Bob Baumhauer, part of the Killer Bees of the Miami Dolphins, his uncle. Also a Bama star.
Remember them only too well. Great defensive team, the Dolphins then.
3rd and 6, Palmer shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Steps up. Runs out of trouble and may have the first down as he crosses. He didn't slide, so you have to give him progress where the ball hit the ground. Tavares Gooden made the tackle, and that's something that Palmer, who admits he's not as much faster than most of the fire hydrants in town, but he is scrambling and he's buying time, and that has pleased his coaches. Flag. We'll see what that's about.
I hope it's not delay a game on Palmer running.
Oh, mean. Flag on fouls.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 88, offense. Illegal contact, number 25, defense. Those fouls will offset. Replay 3rd down.
Defensively, Chris Carr, the nickel back, and the tight end J.P. Fashi, the penalty for Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's working against Ray Lewis, and you really can't blame him. That left hand just reaches out and grabs Ray Lewis. Heads up by Palmer to get out of the pocket before Gooden can drag him down. But again, it's a penalty against Baltimore there that happened after the holding penalty against Fashi. That hurts the Ravens.
So 3rd down and 6 again. But back to Palmer extending the play, a pass play, when normally he's been staying in that pocket. This year he's not reluctant at all to leave it. There's a tough throw, and what a catch by Ochocinco. Oh my, they're voting for the Pro Bowl. Those are the kinds of catches that get you to Honolulu.
Or to South Florida in Miami, where the Pro Bowl is going to be this year, Dick. It might get him to Honolulu as well with a catch like this.
Look at the coverage.
That's Ed Reed coming over late, knocking him down, but the ball secured by Ochocinco.
17 yards on the catch by the former Chad Johnson. First down at the Baltimore 47.
This is the tackle right there. That is Dennis Rowland as a wingback.
Blitz comes, the throw on the hot read. Ochocinco, he's putting on a circus show. Bring on the trapeze act.
This is as good as the last one. A little bit different as this is a total layout. Both feet off the ground, the catch, the secured catch, and an 8-yard gain.
And that after he faked Foxworth right out of his shoes. 4 catches, 45 yards for Ochocinco.
It's kind of like the start he had last game against the Chicago Bears 2 weeks ago. He had 8 catches in the first half.
2nd and short for Palmer, and the Bengals leading 7-0 here in the opening quarter. Off play action. And that is incomplete. Both Chris Henry and Andre Caldwell were in the same area. 3rd and 2. Empty backfield. Quick throw. Incomplete. Trying to hit the tight end Fashi.
Good coverage that time by Dewan Landry right on the back of Fashi. Fashi had to reach out for that ball. Looks like the Bengals are going to go for it on 4th down. They've been real good this year converting 4th downs, 8 of 10. They've got momentum right now. That's what Marvin Lewis is telling his team. Go for it.
They're second only to Atlanta in 4th down conversions. The Falcons 83% and Bengals 80%. Well, that's a long 2 yards. And time called by the Baltimore Ravens.
Timeout, Baltimore.
Marvin Lewis at least hinting that he's going to go for it at the 39-yard line of the Ravens.
Shows the type of confidence he has in both his offense picking up and then his defense keeping with the good field position that Baltimore would have.
If they tried a field goal, Dan Fouts, it would be a 57-yard attempt, and the longest ever made by Graham is 53.
Just one run on this drive of 6 plays so far.
Brian Leonard into the game as a receiver. Here comes the blitz, picked up beautifully. The throw is for Ocho Cinco. A lot of hand checking. There goes the flag. Fabian Washington unable to handle Ocho Cinco. Another interference call, 7th of the season.
Pass interference, number 31. Defense, automatic first down.
Yeah, it starts with pass protection, as you call, Dick. Watch the blitz coming right up the middle here, and it's all picked up. Carson Palmer sees the single coverage on the outside. There's the hand grab by Fabian Washington on Ocho Cinco, and just in case the officials didn't see it, Ocho Cinco is going to let him know he was held right about there.
So the first down on the penalty all the way to the 15-yard line. And now Benson with a chance. Stays on his feet. Battles for about 6 before Landry and Reed, the Raven safeties, can make the tackle.
And again, it's kind of he's starting off one side and then coming back to the weak side of the formation, as he did on the long run he had of 21 yards in the previous drive. But Benson showing real good patience behind this big offensive line and looking for the cutback.
A gain of about 5.5. Call it second and a short 5. Leading 7-0. 3 minutes to go, opening quarter. And a reverse. Lavernius Coles breaks out of a tackle. Out of bounds at the 2, 1st and goal Bengals.
Not only did he break out of a tackle, it was a tackle of Ed Reed. Reed did a great job of reading this reverse, got to the edge. Reed will come from the middle of the field after the fake to Benson, the handoff to number 11 Coles. Now watch number 20 fly up here and not be able to bring down Lavernius Coles, as Coles takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. What an effort by Lavernius Coles.
Donnell Ellerby finally got him out of bounds. Cincinnati's 21st play of the opening quarter coming up. Baltimore with only 4. Benson lined up 8 yards behind the center, and Palmer using that second timeout.
Cincinnati.
Didn't like the time running out and the situation call.
Actually, Marvin Lewis ran all the way down to the 5-yard line to call that timeout. He's out of breath himself.
The old Idaho State linebacker showing some good lateral speed. Way to go, Marvin. 1st and goal as the Bengals endeavor to add to their 7-0 lead. Benson bulls his way to the 1. Into the teeth of that defense. Jamil McClain, linebacker, Syracuse, had his head in there.
Well, McClain did a great job, because this offensive line was just going to get into one of those flying wedge formations and try to snowplow their way into the end zone. But McClain got in low and got the legs of Benson and brought him down before they could gain any of that huge momentum on the right side.
12-play drive for the opening touchdown. Here comes the 10th play of this drive. Benson into the end zone. Bengal touchdown. His 6th of the season to lead Cincinnati.
There was no hesitation on that one at all. This was just pure power by the Bengals. Getting in behind his big fullback, that's Jeremy Johnson, 275 pounds. And good job by Nate Livings. Remember, he's filling in for Evan Mathis. He pulled and got a key block as well.
Extra point try by Shane Graham. And the Bengals, 2 very impressive drives. 80 yards, 10 plays. And remember again, penalties hurting The Baltimore Ravens, 4:44 the drive, and Benson with a payoff from 1 yard out. And Baltimore is going to have to dig out of the early hole.
Yeah, defensively, that's only the 4th touchdown they've allowed on the ground this season. But a couple of penalties on that drive against the defense. The pass interference on Ocho Cinco, and also the pass interference against Dewan Landry that nullified a potential turnover when Ocho Cinco fumbled.
So Graham tees it up, and Lardarius Webb back deep for the return for Baltimore. Two-time Division I AA All-America at Nicholls State. Fields it at the 2. And he's toppled before the 20, and a flag down. Morgan Trent, nickel cornerback for Cincinnati, with the tackle. Let's see what the penalty.
During the return, holding number 32 on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Matt Lawrence with a holding call, so everything going backwards for Baltimore.
Right side of the screen right there is the takedown by Matt Lawrence. And how about the tackle by Morgan Trent? He gets held and he gets the tackle.
And that forces Flacco and the Ravens to start from their own 9-yard line. Flacco to the sidelines and complete to Mark Clayton. And Clayton, sure-handed receiver out of Oklahoma, had some big catches in the Denver win last Sunday.
Trying to change the tempo now. Baltimore go right to the line of scrimmage. Had a lot of success with this type of offense last week against the Broncos.
15 yards on that catch by Clayton. Now it's Ray Rice. And he's to the 29-yard line. On 2nd and 5. Flacco. Deep throw to the sideline. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of the sure-fisted Derek Mason, but there's good coverage from Jonathan Joseph.
Yeah, the third hand in that group was the right hand of Jonathan Joseph. Really tight coverage here from an off position. Just a mirror image. There goes the right hand, and ball goes out of the hands of Derek Mason.
3rd and 5. Many of the Bengal fans on their feet to spur the defense. And Flacco has to use another timeout. Each team now with just one timeout remaining, and we're not out of the opening quarter.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that that's such a bad idea when your team is struggling as the Ravens are right now. Flacco just 1 of 4. And remember, Derek Mason has had trouble the last 2 games against the Bengals. He's been shut out in both games after having 79 career catches against the Bengals, playing for the Titans and for the Ravens, but very frustrated.
Remember, we said yesterday in chatting with him, with 830 catches in his career. Remember the first one? Yeah, Steve McNair. I caught it from McNair, and I fumbled the ball. I was hit from behind by Mike Haynes. That's how long ago Mason was playing.
Mike Haynes terrorized a lot of receivers, and, oh yeah, a few of his quarterbacks as well. Great player.
3rd and 5. Flacco throws underneath, complete to Rice, and Rice is hit before he gets to the sticks. A yard shy of the first down.
That type of play by Flacco and Rice has been really good for the Ravens all year. The Bengals were sitting there waiting for it. 39 catches on the season for Rice. Number 27 coming out of the backfield against a 4-man rush. But look at how quickly in the zone coverage the Bengals close, with Morgan Trent making another big play.
Yeah, Trent and Hall were the starting quarterbacks at the University of Michigan a couple of years ago. Oh, there may be a offside against Cincinnati, and if so, that'll be a first down for Baltimore. Kyrus Hebert looked to take the hook. Was he induced? This is a tough one. John Harbaugh, who played his college ball in the state at Miami of Ohio, nearby.
This is really a tough call because the center is lifting his head and the man over the center moves. This is going to be a long discussion because obviously the officials saw it both ways.
And the decision?
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 59, 5-yard penalty.
Brandon Johnson with the contact, and that is a first down for Baltimore.
And that's Matt Katua, the center, and there is the guilty party.
Oh, that's a pretty obvious move by the center.
Centers get away with that not only in punt formation, but of course in the shotgun formation. Big mistake by the Bengals.
So Brandon Johnson's offside gives Baltimore another set of downs. Willis McGahee makes his first appearance. Fake to him, and it's Derek Mason coming around the corner, and he gets to the 40. That's all. Chris Crocker not fooled. Ray Maualuga also in on the play.
Now Crocker's done such a good job of making plays such as that one, but also being a calming influence in the secondaries. Really helped the two cornerbacks, Leon Hall in his 3rd year and Jonathan Joseph in his 4th year. But Crocker's the glue back there, much like Ed Reed is for Baltimore.
Final seconds of the opening quarter. 2nd down and 8. LeRon McLean, leading rusher last year, will get a carry here, and he's caught in the backfield, met by Keith Rivers with plenty of company, including D'Amato Pecco. With Dan Todd, Dick Enberg here at Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati. We open the 2nd quarter. Bengals leading Baltimore 14-0. The Ravens at 3rd and 8. They're the best team in the league, 3rd and 7 and longer. They've made 40%. And the throw on this occasion is way out of place, saving the sack as Tank Johnson had infiltrated and pressured Flacco. Boy, this Johnson, a former Chicago Bear, and another pickup by this Cincinnati team. He was an unrestricted free agent Dallas a couple of years. He has played big time this whole season.
Interesting chemistry on this Bengal team. Marvin Lewis has the right mix, he says, of guys that have been cast-offs and guys who've been drafted high.
Punter on Sam Cook. Juan Cosby back at the 15-yard line. Cosby, who played 4 years of minor league baseball, an outfielder, fields this one at the 11. And he's back to close to the 19-yard line. Couple of very impressive drives for touchdowns on their first 2 possessions for Cincinnati.
Now they've been able to convert 4 of 5 third-down conversions, and they've got almost a 5-minute edge in time of possession. That's why they're up by 14.
They open on their own 20. 74 eligible on the play. And the throw over the middle is complete to Chris Henry. And Henry has a first down out to the 39-yard line, and he's hurt on the play.
It's a post route. Fabian Washington comes in, and it's a hard tackle down on this artificial surface on the left shoulder of Chris Henry. There is Washington on the sideline in obvious pain as well.
He's been replaced by Chris Carr.
Go back to see what happened on this strike from Carson Palmer to Henry. Henry goes down on his left elbow, and somewhere in there the legs of Fabian Washington were tangled up.
Holding his wrist as he made that catch. Oh my.
Yeah. That's a tough one there.
Henry, one of the better deep threats in the league. Applause as he's taken back to the locker room for x-rays undoubtedly.
Just a freak injury, as it appeared he broke his left arm when he hit the ground. This is artificial surface here, a very good field.
Meanwhile, Fabian Washington was favoring an ankle, but looks as if he's able to walk it off. We resume play here. We're early in the second quarter. 14-0 Cincinnati, and at the 40-yard line they give us to Benson. Benson upside down on the tackle. A good hit by Lardarius Webb. Here in Cincinnati, the Bengals with a 14-0 lead and plenty of time left here in the opening half. Second and long. Benson runs into his own blocker and maybe squeaks out a yard. Kelly Gregg, the defensive tackle from Oklahoma, in on the tackle from Edmond, Oklahoma, where he sat side by side with Olympic gymnastics star Shannon Miller. He said, I knew she was something special. She's going to be a gold medal winner or something because she didn't have to go to class as much as I did. He is a character, isn't he?
I bet she was crowded too, sitting side by side with the 315-pound Kelly Gregg.
Said last year I had to sit out and change diapers. I was injured all year. Boy, is it great to be in a hotel and watch TV and get room service. On third and long. The throw on the run is complete. Oh, Palmer to Coles. Lavernius with a catch. And another injured player.
Fabulous throw by Carson Palmer. Good pressure this time by Trevor Price, number 90, as he's being held there. No call. Palmer, with the man in his face, throws a strike to Coles. And it looks like the injured player is Trevor Price, as he got hit by one of his own teammates, and Palmer survives the collision.
Four-time Pro Bowler Price, the 13-year veteran from Clemson. Sometimes, and it seems to happen more often than not, you're injured by your own teammate.
Well, here is Price right here, and your buddy Kelly Gregg coming to hit the quarterback. Actually, it's Dwan Edwards. And you know, if Price can't go, now Baltimore's really thin up front all of a sudden. Haloti Ngata's got a bad ankle. He didn't dress out today. Justin Bannon started for him. Now, if Price goes down, we'll see a lot more of Dwan Edwards in his stead.
Meanwhile, Palmer on third and long. There's Ngata, the 340-pound giant defensive tackle, one of the best in the league, and his absence really hurts Baltimore, especially against the run.
Now, Baltimore has 12 Cincinnati has 12 first downs. Baltimore's run 11 plays.
And the Bengals on third down have converted 5 of 6. First down at the Ravens 46. The quick throw out to Coles, and he crosses the 40-yard line, a gain of about 7 before Lardarius Webb makes the tackle. Webb in there because of the injury to Fabian Washington. Earlier, Evan Mathis with a leg injury. His return is questionable. The left guard for Cincinnati. Chris Henry, left forearm, obviously will not return after the injury that he just suffered on the tackle back on the 40-yard line. On second down, Palmer. Look at the time again. He's going to run for the first down and then skids to the 30-yard line.
And you know, he gets all of that skid too, Dick, because he went head first. If you slide feet first, they stop you as soon as you hit the ground. But again, it's the mobility of Palmer. This is really heads up here. He's got a blocker there in Coles. He knows he's safe, but he slides in safely all the way to the 29-yard line. That's about a 3-yard slide.
Stole 3 more yards. That head first slide right into second.
Maury Wills would have liked that slide.
So first down, and Palmer's ability to run the ball on occasion really helping the cause. Here's Benson trying to find room outside, and battled out of bounds by Dominique Foxworth.
Perhaps being in Cincinnati, I should have said it was a Pete Rose head first slide. Not going all the way back to your day there in L.A. with Maury Wills.
Listen to this, Dan Fouts. Palmer, that last run was good for 10 yards. The Ravens in the game have 12 yards rushing.
You see the passes. Those are the arches. The straight line, of course, is that beautiful run that Carson Palmer just had.
So second and 10 as the Bengals dominating both lines of scrimmage, offensively and defensively. Palmer Open the tight end, Fauci, and he's inside the 10-yard line. 9th catch of the year for J.P. Fauci. They picked him up in training camp when Cincinnati lost both of their tight ends, Ben Utek and Reggie Kelly.
Well, Palmer continues to stare down the pass rush. This time it's Dewan Edwards coming right in his face. Great catch by Fauci, reaching behind him to make the grab and then seeking out that goal line, getting down to the 8-yard line.
Fauci from Georgia Tech, appreciating the engineers. Great season. First and goal.
12 men.
First down.
12 men in the huddle here as Daniel Coates tried to sneak out of the huddle. And this will cost the Bengals 5 yards.
It'll be first and goal from the 13. The Bengals today, red zone offense, they've scored 2 touchdowns and 2 trips. They're 18 for 25 this year. That's the best in the NFL. They get in the red zone, they score touchdowns. Dennis Rowland is an eligible receiver, the right tackle. He's lined up as an end. Benson breaking tackles. Oh, does he run hard? Downhill Benson. The ball on the ground, but after it was blown dead at the 8-yard line. Ray Lewis right there to scoop it up in case.
And how about after handing off the ball to Benson, Carson Palmer yells, "Go, go, go!" Let's see if this was a fumble or not. This might be worth a challenge by Baltimore. No, his hip was down. The ball came out. Good call or non-call by the officials.
Second and goal inside the 10. Look at the time differential. Bengals dominating control of this game. Benson on a draw to the 5-yard line. Third and goal. Cedric Benson was the Doak Walker Award winner at Texas in 2004. He's 5th all-time NCAA history rushing. He had 1,000 yards or more all 4 years at Texas, and then a very disappointing professional start with the Chicago Bears, who picked him in the first round, the 4th player selected in 2005. Had some off-the-field difficulties, and he was out there for anyone to have a couple of years ago when the Bengals picked him up. Third and goal. Palmer to the end zone. It's caught, but out of the end zone by Lavernius Coles.
Great job by Chris Carr, just keeping Coles from getting to the back end zone, back corner of the end zone. A little bit of contact there that could have been called, but the ball thrown beyond the field of play, uncatchable.
So Shane Graham comes out for a short field goal. One of the best percentage field goal kickers in NFL history. It's just not much more than an extra point, 23 yards. And the Bengals tack on 3 more. 17-0 Bengals, but it's not been much to talk about for Ray Lewis and the Ravens side. They've been manhandled on both sides of the scrimmage line.
And this is after last week's dominating defensive effort when they allowed only 200 yards to Denver the entire game. We have half of the second quarter yet to play, and Cincinnati's already gained 197 yards.
3 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and a short field goal for the home team. Lardarius Webb deep. Shane Graham puts his right foot to it. Spins to the 1. Oh, look at that. Way the Bengals attack downfield on special teams had Webb putting on the brakes. Kyrus Hebert with a tackle. Ray Rice behind McLean. Fake to him. Flacco, lots of time. Somebody's got to be open. It's McLean. A little check off, and he's across the 25 to the 26-yard line, a gain of 5. Smothered by half the defense, led by Pat Sims, defensive tackle.
Now you can just imagine the pep talk that Cam Cameron must have given his offensive line, because that's really where it's going to have to start for Baltimore to get back in this game. Give Flacco time to throw. Give Rice lanes to run in.
There's Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator. Ray Rice hit in the backfield and struck again on the second wave. Boy, the pressure of this defense. Frosty Rucker, backup defensive end, their first, and then followed up by Chinedum Ndukwe.
Yeah, and on the outside here is Fanene, number 68. He gets in the face of Jared Gaither.
No gain on the play. 48-3 in the first half of the last just 2 games for Cincinnati. Flacco underneath, complete at the 29, but short of the first down to Todd Heap, the tight end. Brandon Johnson, good linebacker in cover.
Boy, another 3 and out for the Ravens. 0 for 4 converting third downs, and that's after being pretty good. Third best in the league converting third downs this season.
Almost 50% on the season, but lots of 3 and outs. Only 15 plays to 33 for Cincinnati. Ooh, a low snap and fielded, and the hurried kick by Cook is a good one. Fair catch in the crowd by Quan Cosby at the 30-yard line. Veteran Matt Burke there in the center of the picture on the Ravens bench. Former Viking, traded purple in Minnesota for purple in Baltimore. Changing his play, Palmer. And Cedric Benson pounds his way out for about 4 more.
He really has a perfect combination for a running back. He can pound the ball as he tried to do there. He's patient, but his quick feet and his pad level really sets him apart. He can jump to the outside and get back to full speed in a hurry.
And with that run, look what has happened. The Bengals have given up more yards to Cincinnati here in the first half than the entire game against the Broncos at home last Sunday. The Ravens rather, against the Broncos. Wide open is the tight end Fashi, and he's out to the 45-yard line. Nobody picks him up. Finally, Gooden made the tackle.
They're just doing everything they want, and they're doing it well. The pass protection is absolutely perfect after the play fake. Good job by Benson picking up Kelly Gregg, and then a tight end on the perimeter. And you wonder why Fashi's so wide open. Well, Chad Ochocinco's had a big first half, as has Caldwell with a touchdown catch, and Chris Henry before he got hurt. A lot of weapons for Palmer to choose from.
And with Cedric Benson adding the running game, keeping the defenses honest. And here he comes. Look at that mean running of Cedric Benson to the 40-yard line.
Great block on the outside by Lavernius Coles, number 11. But there's the jump to the outside right there. There's the block by Coles. He pays for the block as Foxworth knocks Benson out of bounds. But I'm watching this run and I'm thinking of Ickey Woods for some reason.
Yes. Yeah, that was more than a shuffle though from Benson, wasn't it?
That was a Texas two-step.
First down at the 39 of Baltimore. Throw to the outside, incomplete, intended for Coles, and the coverage was solid. And the lopsided numbers again credited to the fact that Cincinnati's line offensively and defensively dominant today. There's a good stop by the Ravens as Trevor Price back in the game to make the tackle on Benson.
Maybe that's the way you stop him. You knock his hat off.
5'11" and 225 is Benson, member of the Bears team that went to the Super Bowl against Indianapolis, Super Bowl 41. Palmer now, and how about this for an A+ on your report card? Palmer's 10 straight drives now for the Bengals have led to either a touchdown or a field goal.
And against pretty good defenses. The Bears 2 weeks ago and the Ravens in this first half.
Here comes a big blitz and then pass incomplete to Fossey.
Yeah,
no, it's Coates over there.
Yeah, the low snap really threw the timing off, plus the pressure in the face of Carson Palmer. So a mistake by Kyle Cook with this low snap, and then the good pressure right there as Ed Reed came on the blitz.
And out comes Kevin Huber, rookie punter from Cincinnati. And how about the Bearcats last night? 47-45 beat UConn to remain unbeaten. So this town is very excited about their football, collegiately, and these Bengals. Chris Carr stands at the 10. Short field for Huber.
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So that 5 yards doesn't hurt him and gives him a little more leg room.
And I don't understand why teams don't decline that penalty. Why give him that little more leg room?
So let's see what Huber does with this punt. His dad also was a punter here in the city at Xavier when they had a football team. He kicks that backward bounce kick, but this one kicks forward. Didn't have the back spin. 20-yard line for Flacco and the Ravens.
You look at the top of the screen. Ravens only have one timeout to work with.
They need to get something out of this possession. They don't want to go in with a goose egg at halftime. Flacco. He's going deep. Short throw, and it's intercepted by Leon Hall. Intended for Mason, and Hall has his 4th pick of the year. Boy, these cornerbacks have covered well.
Hall got 2 picks against the Chicago Bears last time out. This ball way underthrown by Flacco. In fact, both the receiver Mason and Hall almost came to a complete stop before Hall went up in front of Mason to make the pick.
That's the 207th takeaway by this Cincinnati team since Marvin Lewis came to town in 2003. It's interesting. Baltimore has 208. Cincinnati 207 takeaways. They're 1 and 2 in the league in the last 6 years. And Hall on an interception rampage. Ball at the 42-yard line. Benson drives near midfield for Flacco. That was his 6th interception this year.
This has just been a dominating performance by the Bengal defense as they've held the Ravens to just 39 yards here in the first half.
Benson piling up the rushing yardage. He now has 80 in the game. How do you stop these Bengals? How impressive are they these last 2 games? Closing in on the 2-minute warning, and Palmer to throw, and throws it away.
Well, really a heads-up play there. Ray Lewis just bumping Cedric Benson to the ground. Palmer wanted a penalty, but that's just a heads-up play by none other than Ray Lewis.
3rd and 4 near midfield for the Bengals. Here come the Ravens, full house blitz, and then Carson Palmer throws it to the sidelines, incomplete. Oh, he was being smothered by quite a rush.
Finally, Jarrett Johnson gets in on the pass rush there. He had help on that side of the formation for Baltimore, and that forced that incomplete pass as Palmer had absolutely nowhere to go with this ball.
So Kevin Huber back on the field to punt for the Bengals. And Chris Carr, veteran from Boise State, back at the 10. High left-footed boot. Carr lets it go. Is it saved? Yes. What a play. A Bear in the air in the end zone to tip it back into the field of play at the 1-yard line.
And he tipped it back to Cinco Ocho. Ray Maaluga, 58. They can do it all. Great play by Bear.
And Cinco and Ocho planting at the 1-yard line. Man, this Bengal team is high on hair, though, isn't it? I mean, they are the hairiest team in the league. Well, Abear is an exception.
You think?
I mean, my favorite is Pecco. There he is.
Yeah.
His number is 90 follicle. Is there a number in there? He said he went home to the island Samoa in '92, and his dad said, "You better get all that hair off. You're never going to be able to get into college and be a real football player." So he shaved it all off, and he hasn't been in a barbershop since. That's 7 years of growth, and I'm envious. Pecco and company dig in as Flecko has to line up his backfield in the end zone. McGahee, a tailback, and first it's Flacco. Just a safety wedge quarterback sneak straight ahead. Minute and a half left in the first half.
Really the only play the Ravens could run here, and they'll be able to run out the time in the first half now because the Bengals have no timeouts in which to stop the clock.
Well, that defense has been plenty mean.
He's going to have to quarterback sneak it a couple more times. Cannot afford to go backwards here.
That's Flacco again. 6'6" and 235 straight ahead for a while, and then push back in the final minute of this opening half.
Now you can see the problems at this offense, or maybe it's the defense of the Bengals as they have forced 3 punts and then just a one-play drive and the interception by Leon Hall. Even special teams getting in the act with that great punt by Huber.
Can this be the same team that won only 4 games a year ago, the Bengals? And if they win today, 6-2, will be their best since their Super Bowl season in 1988. And they're really handcuffing a terrific offense that has scored over 30 points 5 times this year, Baltimore. But they have to take care of the ball, run out the clock at the end of the opening half, and Marvin Lewis, a little bounce in his step. When you talk to Carson Palmer and ask him, you know, did you ever played a better game than you did against the Bears? And he said, that first half was pretty near perfect. And they put together another tremendous first 30 minutes as Graham tees it up, and Lardarius Webb, who took the kickoff to open the second half against Denver, 95 yards for a touchdown, takes it just across the 10. And he's tackled at the 27-yard line. Abdul Hodge, linebacker, with a tackle.
Well, in the first half of the Bear game a couple of weeks ago, Cincinnati outscored the Bears 31-3. And of course 17-0 so far. Only one possession in the first half, ended in a punt for Cincinnati, and that was at the very end of the first half.
And a reminder, Marvin Lewis's defense shutting out a Baltimore team that's averaging over 28 points a game. Flacco off play action, throws underneath, a juggling catch by Rice. Fake to Rice and then through to Rice, and he's got good yardage on first down before Keith Rivers can make the tackle.
And just not giving Ray Rice any running room. 2nd
and 1. Rice has a first down and more out to the 43-yard line. Chris Crocker and Keith Rivers collaborate on the tackle.
That's a good misdirection play call by Cam Cameron, and well executed for the first down by the Ravens offense.
And Cameron was the offensive coordinator at San Diego. You saw that particular play with LaDainian Tomlinson on the naked toss. Quick throw, and it's complete underneath to Derek Mason to the 49-yard line. His first catch today.
And first catch in 3 games against the Bengals. He was frustrated last week against the Broncos when he didn't get a holding call against Alfonso Smith. And they got into a bit of a temper tantrum on the sidelines, resulted in a penalty.
There are the numbers for the 2 quarterbacks. And the rushing yardage with Cedric Benson was starring in that first half. 2nd and 4. Flacco to throw. Deep goes Flacco. And it is intercepted by Jonathan Joseph. Intended for Mark Clayton. The ball has been whistled dead back at the spot of the interception as there was contact. The Bengals took Joseph out of South Carolina, #1 pick 4 years ago. Then the next year with the #1, they took Leon Hall out of Michigan. And those two corners are producing here in 2009, each with 4 interceptions. From the 3, quick throw is to Lavernius Coles, a quick move to the outside, but tackle made by Webb after a gain of about 5.
Now Joseph is on the outside. He can come right over the top. A little bump there instant before the ball got to Clayton. Heck of a interception. I'm not so sure though that there was contact on Joseph after he went down. Beautiful, beautiful interception.
There was a bump in midair, which would have served the purpose of the whistle blowing it dead. Benson. There again, you saw the handoff of Palmer having to hand off with the right hand on a play going right because of that thumb injury. It was dislocated against Baltimore in the first game.
He's done a great job of handing the ball to Cedric Benson. There's not even been a slight bobble in the exchange between quarterback and running back. Benson averaging about 5 yards a carry.
3rd and 3 at the 10. And now it's official. The sad news on Chris Henry, a forearm fracture, and the season probably is over. There's a shovel pass, and staying on his feet is Brian Leonard, and the 3rd-year man from Rutgers makes a fine play. So we have 2 running backs, Ray Rice for Baltimore and Leonard, both former Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, this is an underhand shovel pass because of the bad left hand of Palmer as he gets out of the tackle right there at the line of scrimmage by Terrell Suggs and picks up the first down by inches. Great effort by Leonard.
Yeah, he set a Rutgers record 207 catches as a running back and 45 touchdowns. Benson, and in the hole, Ray Lewis. Fans giving Lewis a little vocal rub.
They're not saying Lewis. Not here, huh?
Don't think so. What did Ocho Cinco said after he took that hit that knocked his helmet off and Lewis cost him $25,000? He said, I was going after him, and Lewis just said, I love you.
I doubt that.
That sounds like a good story for Ocho Cinco.
They all are.
And this is Benson. Here comes the blitz. Palmer has to dump it over the middle and complete, looking for Andre Caldwell. Hurried throw by Palmer as the pressure came from Ed Reed on a safety blitz.
Yeah, really good job by Ed Reed, looking for his first sack of the year. Comes in just a little bit late. He had help in the inside by Tavares Gooden. And Jarrett Johnson had the coverage on Caldwell. So one of those zone blitzes worked out perfectly for the Ravens.
Carr to return. Huber to punt. Will deliver from just inside his 10. A late Raven coming on the field. Carr's got some running room. Takes out of 1 tackle, and then the Bengals are there to cover. On the 32, Flacco and the Ravens trying to get this offense in gear. Ray Rice on first down for about 4 before Damata Pico can make the tackle.
Number 94.
Zenyatta didn't have that much mane.
Who's going to talk to him about that? I mean, you were real brave to ask him about the last time he had his haircut.
I yelled it. I didn't go up and ask him. I said, hey, Tomato. Oh, nice effort by Flacco to dump that off to McLean, the fullback, and he breaks tackles and is into Cincinnati territory. A first down. before Leon Hall could bump him off the field of play. McLean carrying 260 pounds and ran right through the initial hit.
Heck of a job by the 6'6" Flacco as Pecco is bringing him down and somersaulting him.
Quick huddle, and Rice caught in the backfield, and the Bengals alert to that play. Maualuga and Chris Crocker in on the stop. And Keith Rivers, the starting linebacker for Cincinnati, a report from the field, a right calf injury. He will not return. So Brandon Johnson, number 59, replaces him. Second and long for Flacco. Good protection. The throw is low, however, incomplete to Todd Heap, the tight end. Crocker again on the coverage, and Chris Crocker, the safety, has had a big game for Cincinnati, and high in praise was Marvin Lewis of Crocker, who played at Marshall. He said he's really helped out those young corners. He's been a good mentor.
And you can see as Flacco, with time to throw that time, throws it in low to Todd Heap. He's had trouble getting the ball to his wide receivers as well. He's completed 2 passes to his wide receivers, but thrown 2 interceptions to the Bengals corners.
Orange-colored Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Third and long. Here comes the blitz from the corner, and Flacco can't get it off. Brandon Johnson was there first.
And Morgan Trent was the corner, the nickel corner on the blitz. Good coordination that time between Johnson and Trent Morgan. And Dukwe coming as well, number 41. Just too many Bengals for the Ravens to pick up on that third down.
They're one of the many improvements for this Cincinnati team. Their 18th sack. They had only 17 all last year. Sam Cook. Daquan Cosby takes a look at the defense and says, I'll return this one, and takes it back almost 10 yards before DeJuan Landry. The starting say, wait a minute, that ball came out, and the Ravens, if that was a live ball, say they have it.
This would be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Ravens.
Remember, they had a fumble recovery in the first half, but it was ruled off on a penalty committed by Baltimore. Nope, the signal is the play had been whistled dead.
Here's Quan Cosby on the punt return. He's going to get into a pile and actually land on top of a teammate. Abdul Hodge, his forward progress is stopped there before Jameel McLean can rip the ball out. Cincy ball.
No challenge by Harbaugh. Palmer. That's a time, and now the coverage breaks down, and Terrell Suggs logs his 3rd and a half sack of the season.
And one thing the Ravens have done well, and they've done very few things well today. Of course, getting this sack is important for their defense by Suggs, but Ocho Cinco has 4 catches. All those 4 catches came in the first quarter.
Well, since they scored touchdown field goal their first 3 possessions, the Bengals have gone 3 straight possessions with a punt. And they start here 2nd and long. Benson. And a good play by Lardarius Webb. Webb is in because of the injury to Fabian Washington, and he makes play after play, this rookie from Nicholls State.
Yeah, Palmer's been challenging him with the short passes to Lavernius Coles. That time, Webb got inside the block of Lavernius Coles and made a heck of a tackle on Benson. I don't think Benson ever saw him. In fact, Benson may be shaken up just a bit.
3rd down and 8. Brian Leonard in for Cincinnati. Ocho Cinco way out here to the right. Caldwell now in the slot. Ocho Cinco, what hands? What hands? 1st down at the 32.
Well, the circus is back in town. He made 2 unbelievable catches in the first half. Again, he beats double coverage. Chris Carr, one of them, the other Foxworthy. But it's the hands, Dick. As you said, he just reaches out and snatches that ball and does not allow the defense anywhere near it.
5 catches, 60 yards, and perhaps being challenged now by Harbaugh. The Ravens, you look at this, and that right foot, a size 9 would have been okay, but Ocho Cinco with that size 12 boot is out of bounds apparently.
And that orange toe really shows he was out of
Baltimore
bounds.
is challenging the ruling on the field of a catch.
Back in Cincinnati, and by all accounts, the replay should show that this is a non-catch.
It came on 3rd and 8. And so that right toe being out of bounds to bring up the 4th straight punt for the Bengals. So Raven defense adjusting to this Bengal offense. And that's just what the Ravens need. John Harbaugh has got to tip his hat to his assistant coaches upstairs for being so quick to see the replay and tell him to challenge the catch.
And Harbaugh told us yesterday he's been trying to encourage his defensive backs on those sideline catches to force the receiver out of bounds. The old days, you force him out, it would still be a catch, but if you don't come down with both feet, even though you're under contact, as that was the instance here.
Really a good job by Foxworth, as he will shove Ocho Cinco as he's trying to make a play on the ball. That's good coaching and good execution.
The receiver gains control of the ball but does not have 2 feet in bounds. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. Baltimore will not be charged with a timeout. It will be 4th down and 8 from the 17-yard line. Clock operator, please reset the clock to show 6:04. 6:04, please.
Ocho Cinco obviously disappointed. He made a terrific effort, but the defender able to get him just out of bounds for no catch. Looked as if there he had $1 in his hand, as if he said, "Oh, I bet you $1 that that's a completed pass." Watch now.
Either that, he was going to pay off the officials. Thanks for the catch.
Well, that might work for a broadcaster, but the officials are much classier than that.
They need a C note.
So out comes Huber, 4th straight possession. The Bengals have had to punt after they dominated with 2 touchdown drives and a field goal their first 3 possessions of the game. Ed Reed is back this time for Baltimore, and that's John Harbaugh trying to get a star player into the game that can make big things happen. But he fumbled the ball and a scramble on the sidelines, and Baltimore retains possession.
Yeah, I think Reed got back down on this. You know, he should have caught the ball in the air. He let it bounce and then decided to pick it up on a short hop.
Ocho Cinco denied a big catch, and Reed able to cover his own fumble and almost intercepted as Chinedum Ndukwe, the former Notre Dame star, jumping in front of the receiver, Derek Mason.
Yeah, this ball should have been picked off. It gets away from Joe Flacco, sails over the head of the intended receiver, and Chinedum Ndukwe could not make the catch, or the Ravens be in huge trouble.
Flacco, who's had a solid season but has had a very tough game here in Cincinnati. Couple of picks, 7 for 15. This throw is incomplete, intended for Kelly Washington, drafted by Cincinnati back in 2003, and then Ndukwe again in on the play. Well, we had a chance to visit with Ocho Cinco, and he's flamboyant at best, but he is a delicious character, and was on Letterman show, had his own top 10, said that Tom Hanks will play his movie, and his number 2 was, "I'm planning a special touchdown celebration that involves pulling a dancing raccoon out of my pants." Ocho Cinco.
Never boring.
3rd down 10. Stepping away is Flacco. He's got running room, and will pick up the 1st down and more inside the 45 of the Bengals. Jonathan Fanene unable to bring him down. He ran away from the defensive end.
And a holding penalty going against the Ravens.
Number 71, offense, 10-yard penalty, replays their down.
Big 6'9" tackle Jared Gaither caught for the hold. Instead of a first down on the scramble, back they go another 10.
There's Gaither, left tackle, and he's working against Jonathan Fanene. And he reaches out with his left hand. Now, if he just continues to push Fanene by the quarterback, he's not going to get called, but he had a semi-chokehold on number 68.
Now back to the 33 for Baltimore. And third and very long. Flacco does go long down the sidelines. Incomplete, and the coverage excellent again as Derek Mason well covered by Jonathan Joseph.
To show you how bad it's been for Flacco today, his leading receiver is not Derek Mason or Mark Clayton or Kelly Washington. It's Le'Ron McClain with 2 catches, Ray Rice with 2 catches, Clayton and Mason just 1 each.
And one of Baltimore's strengths all year has been third down conversions, 48%, third in the league, but 0 for 7 today. Cook to punt. Cosby at the 20. Toward the sidelines. Didn't step out of bounds, and now knocked out of bounds at about the 17. The Bengals with the ball inside the 20, and Palmer comes out throwing to Lavernius Coles, a quick hitter for a half dozen. Webb again making a good play. Well, there's nothing like the Midwest on an Indian summer day, and this is an absolute beauty. Here in Cincinnati, temperature in the mid-60s, no wind, shirt sleeve crowd here at Paul Brown Stadium. And they've enjoyed the results so far as Carson Palmer and the Bengals have a 17-0 lead. We're in the third quarter, 4 minutes plus remaining. Benson tripped up as he hit the hole, falls at the 26-yard line as Ray Lewis with another stop as Lewis leading Baltimore in tackles. No surprise there. 11 times in his great career he's been the #1 tackler and is well in front in that total again this season.
And I think he's fired up the defensive line of the Ravens because they're getting penetration. That time they forced Kyle Cook to the ground, and Benson tripped over Cook before Ray Lewis got to the tackle.
All kinds here. 3rd and 2. Brian Leonard now in the game in the backfield with Palmer. Quick throw, complete. Lavernius Coles puts on the burners, and he's all the way to the 42-yard line. Ray Lewis chased him down and tried to strip him. Coles hangs on for a big first down catch and run.
Yeah, it's another catch for Coles. He now has 6 on the afternoon. Breaks the tackle there of Ed Reed, and you just don't see that very often. Reed's missed a couple of tackles today. And great hustle by Ray Lewis all the way down to the 42-yard line to make the tackle on Coles.
Coles' best game as a Bengal. He had only 16 catches on the season, 6 today. Benson on the stretch, and he has nearly 5 on first down. Ward him off. There comes Cedric Benson on 2nd down to the 35-yard line of Baltimore, where it'll be 3rd and 3. 3rd down. The quick throw is complete, but immediately Andre Caldwell knocked down by DeJuan Landry, who read that one all the way. No gain. 4th and 3.
Yeah, decision time now for Marvin Lewis. He's going to keep his offense out there.
Well, he went for it when it was at the 39-yard line in the first half. It's at the 35. Would be about a 53-yard field goal. That would be the longest ever kicked by Shane Graham. So they forsake the 3 from long range. They'll try to pick up the first down.
Again, confidence on both sides of the ball for Marvin Lewis, offense and his defense if they don't get it.
Final seconds of the third quarter, down to 2 on the play clock. Palmer buys some time and then has to throw it away, although he did have Ocho Cinco there on the sidelines covered well as Chris Carr came in to put pressure on Palmer.
That was a gutty call by Greg Madison, defensive coordinator for the Ravens, to come with the blitz that time. And they did a good job of forcing Palmer away from his initial receiver, out of the pocket, and making him throw it away on 4th down. Another good play by Madison's defense.
So they take over on downs Baltimore at the 35. It's been 30 seasons, 29 years since the Bengals have done shutout duty. Here's Ray Rice, and a flag goes down as Rice is tackled at the 44-yard line.
Could be Ben Grubbs with the hold. Again, a penalty by Baltimore nullifies a good play by their offense.
Holding, number 71. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Gaither again, and now 65 yards imposed on Baltimore penalties.
Here's Gaither. Grubbs is to the inside, but it's Gaither working against Fanene here. And he's got a hold of his left shoulder.
So the Ravens have 78 yards total in offense today, minus 65 yards in penalties. And only a plus 13 for the game. Flacco over the middle and complete to Rice, and Rice battles his way near a first down at the 45-yard line. As the third quarter concludes, we open the 4th quarter. 17-0. Cincinnati leads. Baltimore, there is good news for Baltimore. Not much in their performance today, and there's another flag on them. They have scored 80 points in the 4th quarter this year. That's the 2nd most in the NFL.
False start. Number 74. Offense.
Big Michael
5-yard
Orr,
penalty. First down.
rookie from Ole Miss.
Watch as the Bengals shift. Orr points it out, and then for some reason decides to move for the ball snap. Rookie mistake.
Orr, the subject of the book and the movie, The Blind Side. Incredible story, that young guy. Flacco underneath, complete. Ray Rice, another catch, the leading receiver for the Ravens on the year, and he's got 4 today. D'Hani Jones, the tackler. Orr, who said that he's just picked the brain of Matt Burke, the Harvard man who plays center for Baltimore. To the point, he said, "Tell me if I'm asking you too many questions, but you're so smart, I want to be helped out." There's a quick throw complete to Heap. Heap ducks under the tackle and gets an extra 7-8 yards down to the 32-yard line before Ndukwe can bring him out of bounds.
And finally, a little rhythm to this Raven offense. It's important that they get a field goal out of this possession, at least a field goal. Touchdown obviously would be a whole lot better, but they've got to get some points on the board out of this drive.
Flacco stays in the shotgun. And the throw to the far side complete to Mason. And Mason has another Baltimore first down at the 25-yard line in front of Leon Hall.
And this is the best that Flacco has looked this entire afternoon. Throwing on time and giving the ball to his receivers in a catchable position. Hall playing soft on Mason, guarding against the long pass.
4 completions in a row for Flacco. Deepest penetration of the entire game for Baltimore. Lots of time. Dumps it off to Heap, and the tight end has 10 more down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, get your playmakers involved. A couple to Rice, a couple to Mason. Heap's got a couple of catches on this drive. Confidence builders.
Hurry up. And Flacco with a flag down throws incomplete in the end zone for Clayton. And another injured player, and that's Jonathan Joseph down. Been a costly game for the Bengals with injuries.
A lot of discussion from the officials about this call. Thrown at the line of scrimmage. Maybe someone in the neutral zone. or was someone lured into the neutral zone? Checking out the left leg of Jonathan Joseph.
Offsides, defense. The player trying to get off the field was in the offensive side of the ball, did not make it off the field. Therefore, it's offside, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
So 1st and 5, they'll mark it down to the 10-yard line, and more concern for Bengals coaches, players, and fans, the injury to Joseph.
Ball thrown high, and again a teammate comes over and injures his buddy.
That picture will come as good news for Bengal fans as Jonathan Joseph running off that bump in the end zone. Replaced by David Jones. 1st and 5 at the 10-yard line as the Ravens trying to get on the board. Rice inside the 5 and finally stopped at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Ravens.
That's just how important that 5-yard offsides penalty was against the Bengals. It gave the Harbaugh and his offense the opportunity to run the ball on 1st and 5.
And they continue the hurry up. Ball just inside the 3. They're 9 for 9 goal to goal. Baltimore this year. 10 for 10 as Rice bangs in for the first score of the game for the Baltimore Ravens.
Great second effort too by Ray Rice. He was hit about a yard shy of the end zone by Dhani Jones, but he's got such a low center of gravity at 5'8". Watch the hit right here by Jones, but just the spin gets Rice into the end zone.
Rice's 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Extra point try by Steve Hauschka. So after the Ravens defense stopped the Bengals on downs at the 35-yard line, they drive 65 yards in 8 plays. Ray Rice with a touchdown and Flacco a perfect 5 out of 5 throwing the ball on that drive.
They didn't take a lot of time off the clock either. Only 2 minutes 43 seconds.
17-7 the score. Plenty of time. Just under 13 to go. Caldwell bobbles the kickoff. And knocked out of bounds inside the 10. Fans asking for a flag on a tackle out of bounds, but none is tossed.
Just a great kickoff by Hauschka. Put it on the ground. He got all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and you know that Caldwell was worried about the coverage, had trouble handling it, and now the Bengals are backed up and this crowd is nervous.
And one would guess that Benson will get the call. He needs 1 yard for the century today. And it's a fake to him. No, and the give, and he's able to get out across the 10-yard line, maybe 2 on the carry. That's the 2nd time this year that Benson has rushed for 100 yards or more against this tough Raven defense.
And this is how good that Raven defense has been in the second half. Palmer's only completed 4 of 8 passes. Benson has 21 yards now rushing, and Chad Ochocinco's been shut out in the second half.
And Benson getting 2 yards on that carry. Now 101. Baltimore had gone 39 games without giving up a 100-yard rushing game to a player, and Benson now has done it twice in a month. Find some open room there, but the hole closes out at the 18-yard line. Here's a big 3rd down for the Bengals. 3rd and 2. Throw underneath, and it's complete. Brian Leonard, and the running back who comes in, he's kind of the Kevin Falk of the Cincinnati offense. 3rd down back that can catch the ball. Ray Rice is the same for Baltimore, but he's a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down back. Can't take him out.
No. Leonard does a great job of, on his route, he went about 2 yards farther than he needed to pick up the 1st down. Turned around quickly, got a good pass from Palmer, and then got a couple extra yards.
And he got a good look at number 52, didn't
Yes,
he? Trying to rip it away from him. 1st down at the 27. That would have been a great stop for the Ravens after finally scoring. It's to Benson, and he's out across the 30 before Dewan Edwards can make the stop.
But again, you see the awkward handoff by Carson Palmer, he cannot hand off with his left hand because he's got a dislocated thumb that's going to require surgery once the season's over. So every handoff has to be with his right hand, and this is a backhand handoff. And very smooth. Now, when the weather turns bad in a month or so, maybe it never will here in Cincinnati, but that could be a problem down the road in bad weather.
Yeah, he told us, thank goodness, no rain in the immediate forecast. The throw outside, complete to Caldwell, and Caldwell at the 40-yard line, knocked out of bounds. First down, Cincinnati.
Well, you can see the passing attack now for the Bengals. Coach Bob Bratkowski, their coordinator, going with quicker passes for Palmer, getting the ball out of his hand before the Ravens can get pressure. Here's Caldwell in the slot, just a 5-yard out in front of Dewan Edwards. Check it, that's Dewan Landry, and easy pickup for another first down by the Bengals.
Under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 17-7 Cincinnati. Back to Benson. And they stretch him out, and Edwards, Dewan Edwards, makes the tackle. A lot of foresight there. You knew Edwards was going to be in on the next play.
Yeah.
From Oregon State. Can I say Oregon State on television?
Well,
Dan
after
Fouts?
they beat Cal yesterday, yeah, you can. You just can't mention that other school in the state.
The Stanford Cardinal of John Harbaugh's brother Jim Harbaugh defeating Oregon yesterday in one of the upsets of the day. Iowa going down to Notre Dame to Navy. Second and 8. Benson skips out of one tackle. Boy, he's just hard to bring down. Ed Reed finally able to drop him hard.
Jarrett Johnson got great penetration too, but the quick feet of Cedric Benson as he's going to jump out of this tackle by Johnson as Palmer has to reach for it. His knee almost hit the ground before Ed Reed puts him on the ground.
So third and long at the 43. Caught by Ocho Cinco, breaks one tackle, fumbles the ball. Ravens go the other way. Who else but Ed Reed? And Reed makes another play and then laterals to Carr, and Carr's down at the 47-yard line. And when you look at big players making big plays, how many times do you call Ed Reed's name?
Yeah, and Ocho Cinco guilty of trying to do too much on this play. He had a big gain with the reception as he gets inside of Dominic Foxworth. Good route here. Fine catch going high to make it. Now put the ball away, makes Foxworth miss, and then Reed on his way down pulls the ball out of his hands. Incredible play by Ed Reed.
Reed, who had an interception for a touchdown in the first game against the Bengals. And that brings life to the Baltimore side. 17-7, plenty of time left. Under 8 to go, and Rice finds running room inside the 40-yard line before he's tripped up.
And again, now you're trailing by 10. So again, the field goal comes into the equation here. At least a field goal on this drive, and you continue to put pressure on the Bengals.
Flacco and the Ravens not huddling. Quick throw over the middle, and no flag on the play as Mason hit just as the ball arrived by Jonathan Joseph.
Good sign for the Bengals that number 22 is back in the game, and his timing is perfect. Got there just as the ball arrives. Mason could not make the catch with 22 on his back.
Underneath to Rice. Well, he's tough to bring down. Squirms away. Not much of a target to hit at 5'8", and he's got a first down at the 26-yard line. Here's what's at stake in the AFC North. Cincinnati has wins against Pittsburgh and Baltimore, so they have the edge atop the division, trying to make it 6-2. Pittsburgh plays tomorrow night at Denver, and Baltimore looking for an upset win now, coming from 17 down to go to 5-3 themselves. Flacco pumps and goes for the touchdown to Mason. And it's just off his fingertips as he was checked deep downfield by Joseph.
This is a great job again by Jonathan Joseph. He distracts and holds Mason long enough to where Mason can't locate the ball and try to make an effort to make the catch.
How is that not a penalty?
I have no idea. That's 30 yards down the field. It's legal contact or pass interference.
On 2nd and 10, Flacco underneath, complete the race again, and he refuses to go down on a double hit and able to fall forward another yard. Brandon Johnson finally got him down at the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 4.
And if I were the Bengals, I would keep my eye on Ray Rice, number 27 out of the backfield. Leading receiver today, leading rusher today, as he's been all year for the Ravens.
Baltimore yet to make a 3rd down conversion. 0 for 7. Flacco firing, incomplete. What a play by Joseph again, able to dive in front of the intended receiver, Derek Mason.
He had a huge play against the Ravens in the first game with an interception in the red zones. Got one in the first half today. Look at that dive by number 22. Ball underthrown slightly to Mason. Great play by Jonathan Joseph.
Well, as you said earlier, Dan Fouts, a field goal not bad with this possession after the steal, the fumble recovery by Ed Reed. Field goal by Hauschka brings it to a 7-point game. This is from 38 yards out. And it is no good. Wide to the left. Only the 3rd miss this year by Steve Hauschka. One of those misses, a very big one, could have won the game in Minnesota in the final seconds. Wide left. So Bengals, with 6 minutes plus remaining, hang on to the 10-point lead. And Benson tackled in the backfield as Dwan Edwards and Ray Lewis invade.
You talked about that miss in Minnesota, Dick. This looked a lot like it. Just hooking and hooking and hooking and missing left by about a foot. And Marvin Lewis obviously liked the result.
It's a lonely life, the place kicker.
It is when you miss.
When you make them, they're all over you and racing you like it's New Year's Eve, and then you miss and you're all by yourself. Benson loses 5 on first down and gets about 3 of those back. May get another chance, but time running against the Ravens. Under 5 to go. 3rd and long. Little shovel pass to Brian Leonard, and Leonard cuts upfield, breaks a tackle out to the 37. It's going to be close to a first down, but it looks a little short.
Great effort by Leonard, though. He may have gotten a real generous mark. As he pinballs right here away from Ray Lewis, gets pushed forward there.
Looked like they have the spot about right at the 37.5, but that would be short, wouldn't it?
By about a half. Inch.
Is it or isn't it? Referee Riveron. First down.
Told you it was generous. Great effort by Leonard. And there's the challenge by Harbaugh, as Harbaugh sets a new world record for the challenge flag. That flag went 25 yards.
A little adrenaline in that throw. Let's see where he goes down. Watch where the knee hits first, or the arm. Elbow. Let's see, knee is just about down there.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling of the spot on the field. Timeout.
Welcome back with 4 minutes and a half remaining in the game. The review still being conducted as to whether or not Leonard made it to the 38-yard line on a first down.
It appeared that his knee hit down at the 36-yard line. And where the ball is at this point is well short of the 38-yard line. In fact, it's right at the edge of the arrow on the 40-yard marker. And that edge of that arrow reaches all the way back to the 37-yard line. So this is a good challenge by Harbaugh. And again, good work by his assistant coaches in the booth to see that this is worth challenging.
And when you have your colleague as an official with a pen and pad out, that usually is to mark time and where the ball is going to be spotted, which will indicate an overrule.
Excellent point.
Although Riveron's still listening to the call from upstairs, as this is not a challenge situation, but in the last 5 minutes by our official upstairs. Is that Red Cashin up there today? Did I see him?
Yeah, Red came by and said hi, Mr. First Down. Great official in the NFL. Used to take real good care of me on Sunday afternoons. He is here to supervise and grade the officials. Not the replay official, though, for this afternoon. Bob McGrath is on the other end of this phone upstairs that Mr. Riveron is speaking with right now. Riveron's already made his decision, just getting clarification as to where the ball should be placed and how much time should be put back on the clock.
Well, as you saw the measurement, if they put the ball back even 2 inches, it won't be a first down. Mystery has been resolved. Here's the result.
The runner is down, and the ball will be spotted at the 37-yard line. Therefore, he is short. It is 4th and 1. Baltimore will not be charged with a timeout.
Fans don't like it, but it certainly appears to be the appropriate call.
Yeah, the knee is down, and he's well short of the 38-yard line where they eventually placed it. Now the Bengals have to decide, do you risk going for it here, or do you bring out the punt team? So far, the offense has remained on the field.
Shirley on 4th and a yard.
Please don't call me Shirley.
Certainly, Dan.
Thank you.
They're not going to gamble deep in their own end. Oh, here comes the punting team. And there's going to be a quick huddle here trying to catch Baltimore, not ready. Let the Ravens get on the field.
Keep your eye on that man right there. That's Ed Reed. He knows how to block punts.
Well, how did he miss one last week?
Right between his arms.
And now time is used by Cincinnati. They had hoped to catch the Bengals
Cincinnati
in a player substitution change and get a quick kickoff without a man really protected on the return. There's the kick by Huber. Chris Carr at the 16. Got a lot of room over there. Now they close in on him and bring him down with a flag down as well at the 28-yard line. And it would appear there's going to be another penalty on Baltimore.
Yeah, Lardarius Webb, the rookie, blocking against the center for Cincinnati. Clark Harris going to get called for this penalty.
Illegal block in the back. Number 21, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Webb, who's done some very good things at cornerback as a substitute for Fabian Washington, injured on the Chris Henry collision in the first half, both men leaving the game. But he makes a bad mistake there on the return that'll take the ball all the way to the 16-yard line.
Well, here's Ed Reed coming on the rush. He thought he was held here, and he was by Chinandum and Ndukwe, asking for the flag, but doesn't get it.
Well, the Ravens trailing by 10 and fighting the clock. Under 4 to go. Start deep at their 16.
How big was that missed field goal now?
Flacco alone. Now he moves Rice into the backfield with him. Watch out. And then he dumps it to Rice on the screen, and Rice reverses his field and doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Chinabdoom Ndukwe, another tackle for the man replacing Roy Williams in the secondary for Cincinnati today. Another Bengals slow getting up, however. Robert Gathers, the defensive end. Of course, the Bengals earlier this year lost Antoine Odom, who was off to a sensational start as a pass rusher, had 8 sacks, and now lost for the season. So Fanene has replaced him, and more pressure on Gathers and others. Frosty Rucker at defensive end.
Well, 91 is Gathers. You can see the block that was laid on him by Ben Grubbs. A good legal block. May have just knocked the wind out of number 91, but the Bengals getting thin on that defensive line if Gathers can't play.
Michael Johnson, the rookie, third-round pick from Georgia Tech, number 93, replaces Gathers. On 2nd and 11, Flacco complete out to the 25-yard line to Derek Mason. It's just short of a first down. Yes, it'll be 3rd and 1. Kelly Washington, give Kelly Washington the grab on that last play. Now they give him a very good spot, very close to the first down, inches short. Figure Ray Rice will get it. He does. Basically a draw, first down at the 31. First time that Baltimore's converted a 3rd down today. They were 0 for 8.
And you can see by the little hash marks on the scoreboard there, Baltimore has all 3 timeouts. In fact, they just used their first of the second half.
Look at the Ravens schedule. They go to Cleveland. Cleveland will be off a bye. Then Indianapolis and Pittsburgh at home. How about those challenges back to back? Then at Green Bay. In fact, Harbaugh was talking about that with us yesterday, that said even at Cleveland, and Cleveland at home with an extra week's preparation and with the turmoil up in northern Ohio, never an easy game, and then no doubt about the next 3 being tough.
And what the Ravens are facing again is a 10-point deficit, so a field goal does factor in here. A field goal would probably be the wise thing to do once you get in within Hauschka's range.
Flacco into the flat and complete. Derek Mason, who works the sidelines as well as anyone who's ever played the game. Jonathan Joseph defending, but Mason with yet another catch.
Good strong throw by Flacco in front of Joseph. Joseph not willing to play too tight. Afraid to give up the long play to Derek Mason.
Mason 4 catches today for 41. Flacco. Oh, almost intercepted as Brandon Johnson, the linebacker, drifted way back in coverage and had his hands on it in front of Mason.
Johnson playing for the injured Keith Rivers here. Turns around, ball thrown behind him, or the 6'5", 4th-year player might have had a pick.
Stops the clock. 2nd and 10. 2:25 to go. 17-7. Cincinnati.
Need to get to about the 36-yard line for Hauschka to be within range.
Well, he wasn't in range from the 38 on a 38-yard attempt. A very critical miss earlier in this quarter. Flacco hit in the backfield, and down he goes. A sack again for Cincinnati. Ndukwe and Johnson, 2 backups, converge on Flacco.
And they got to get right back to the line of scrimmage, get a play called, and get a play going here. 3rd down now, and a timeout called by Baltimore.
That leaves them with 1.
Mike Zimmer calling up the blitz again. What a heads-up call by the defensive coordinator. They've had a lot of success bringing in Ndukwe off the corner today, and then Johnson 59 right up the middle. There's Ndukwe first to make contact.
Frosty Rucker, 92, joined the party as well.
But how about Brandon Johnson dropping back in coverage, almost picking off a pass and then picking up a half a sack at least for Mike Zimmer's defense.
They've reset the clock at 2:18. There it is. So Baltimore has the 2-minute warning and 1 timeout to use here, down by 10.
And what Flacco's got to be thinking here is you got 2 downs, obviously. Don't try to get the 19 yards that you need for the first down in 1 play.
3rd down and 19. Flacco buying time in big trouble. Big trouble. Now frees himself for a moment, and down he goes in the arms of Robert Gathers. Gathers, injured, was off the field, comes back on, and has his first full sack of the season. That takes us to the 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. The Bengals still leading. 4th down, 29. Flacco and the Ravens need a miracle long gainer. They must get down to the Cincinnati 46-yard line for a first down.
It's happened against this Bengal defense before. The Broncos beat them on a Hail Mary on a 4th down and long.
Oh, that'll rip off some scabs. Here's Flacco. Won't happen this time. Another sack. And the Bengals can celebrate a win as Fanene and Johnson collaborate on the sack of Flacco, and the flag goes down.
Fanene is going to get called for throwing his helmet in celebration before he got off the field.
Well, let's see how this impacts the play. Does that give Baltimore a first down?
I think it's a dead ball penalty. It was after the play, but Harbaugh is going to
appeal just that. It's his only chance. He's got to argue for the penalty giving him, but even the yardage wouldn't give him a first down. Automatic first down on unsportsmanlike.
After the play was over, number 68 of Cincinnati took off his helmet in the field of play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, 15-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 10.
Oh my, that's how you get a 1st and 10 the other way. He pointed Baltimore's way, 1st and 10.
Yes, he did, but it's after the sack, so it's a dead ball penalty, and the Bengals can celebrate. Although I'm sure Marvin Lewis will say, celebrate with your hat on, Fanene.
He left something on the field, Fanene, and it's worth 15 yards to Baltimore, but it does not cost the Bengals a first down to Baltimore. And now with just 1:50 left and only 1 timeout left for the Ravens, it's a matter of just protecting the ball for a couple of kneel downs, although we will give it to Benson. They'll try to tackle the ball. The Ravens, they're as good as anyone at it. They try to hold him up, and Justin Bannon finally with the tackle, and this is how it looks, giving the Bengals looking ahead at Pittsburgh, and what a game that's going to be. And Pittsburgh against Denver out in the Mile High City tomorrow, then at Oakland. 2 away games for Cincinnati before they come home to two teams of which they'll be rather heavy favorites, Cleveland and Detroit, before a trip to the Twin Cities. And again, Cincinnati has not started a season 6-2 since their Super Bowl year in 1988. Benson again piling up yardage. Pretty remarkable, this proud Ravens defense not giving a 100-yard rusher for 39 games, and Benson 2 times in a month. Cincinnati with a win to go 6-2. Pittsburgh looks for a win and a tie tomorrow night. Baltimore falls back to 4-4. The key to the game, Dan, that first quarter when the Bengals came out and just whipped the Ravens on both sides of the ball.
They really set the tone, and it's something they've been able to do in their last 2 games is get off to a quick start offensively, which picks up and puts pressure on your opponent's offense, and your defense plays better, and it's really been up front, Dick. The offensive line of the Bengals in that first half, and defensively up front, they did a good job. And how about the play of the secondary? Jonathan Joseph and Leon Hall, especially on the corner position, just shutting down the Baltimore passing game.
And Cedric Benson, 37 carries last game against Chicago. 30 more times he's lugged it today on 117 yards. And it's Brian Leonard here on third down, and the clock cannot be stopped now by Baltimore.
But there is a chance that Baltimore will get the ball back here. Cincinnati has a decision now to whether to just kill the clock, try to kill it, or bring out the field goal team. Daniel Coates is not the field goal kicker, so they're going to go for a kneel down. Baltimore will get the ball with just about 10-11 seconds after the kneel down.
Saw Ray Rice there consoling a teammate. Is only a second-year player. He's become a true leader. 100 yards total for Rice today, rushing and receiving. One of the best in the league. Scrimmage yards coming into the game, and Leonard with the carry. 6 seconds on the change of possession, and the Ravens get the ball for one, maybe two plays, probably one long desperation throw, meaningless as that might be. So Joe Cinco and Ray Lewis, a little love chatter before the end of the game, playing off that big hit in Baltimore a month ago.
The score in that first game was 17-14. Bengals had to come from behind to win it. Palmer hitting Caldwell for the touchdown. This game was never really in doubt, and you go back to the one moment when it might have been in doubt, and Hauschka misses a relatively short field goal, and that gave the Bengals some breathing room.
So the final play. Bengals have defenders all the way back at their own 25-yard line as Flacco throws underneath to Rice, who'll add this to his statistics today, and it'll be considerable. 50, 45. Will the lateral follow here? No, he keeps it to the 40-yard line. The Bengals go 4-0 in the division.